Hey folks, Luke, Flat Earth Consequences here. I want to tell you about a conversation I had the other day. So I'm talking with a friend about the reality of satellites and the space station and the way that it appears that NASA fakes a lot of the stuff that they tell us is true. And that I wasn't even sure that that space station's even up there. He freaked out. He says, I've seen it with my own eyes. I know it's up there because I've seen it. Okay. I'm sure you've probably talked to someone about that, and they've given you the same response. And if you haven't, well, you're going to find someone who does. When you tell them the space station's not real, they'll tell you, no, I've seen it myself. Okay, well, this is what I'm going to give you food for thought on that subject. Just check out some of these images here. Okay, so from commercial airline altitude, this is an image of a typical American city. And I want you to look down at that city and try to find a football field. The reason I say find a football field is because a football field is how big NASA says the space station is. I have an image of that in a second. But this is 4 different cities, and there are schools down there with football fields and soccer fields on them. So how hard are they to see? Because people say they look up and they see the space station flying overhead. Well, this is 5 miles high, about maybe 6 tops, but 5 miles high, looking down at a city trying to find a football field, because that's how big the space station is supposed to be. So now let's look at the space station for a second, compared to the space shuttle, some other satellites that they say are up there. But the International Space Station there has those big 8 solar panel arrays right there. You can see them like wings. Remember that, because they say that the space station is the same size as a football field, which we just tried to find. But this is how big it would look if it was 50 times farther away. See those little 8 little panel arrays in the middle of that white box, that mosquito? That's how big the space station would look from the ground, because it's 50 times farther away. If it's 100 yards across at 5 miles, well, it's 50 times farther away when it's orbiting at 250 miles, which means it's 50 times smaller, which is 2 yards. It's the size of a go-kart sitting on that football field. You can't even see the football field. So consider that when they say they see it fly over. Here's the second thing I want to point out. Anytime you go to the space station and you look at the live feed, which I just did 5 minutes ago, and I got this picture of it flying over Japan. Look out the front window, that live feed camera, and you see the clouds. Now this is supposed to be live. If it's real, then it's live. And it shows you on the map exactly where it was at that time. This was not even just a few minutes ago. Look at that position and look at those clouds. They have another camera always running out the side, and it also shows cloud cover that you can barely see the water. So go to NASA's website, go to the ISS live feed. If it's up, it always says it's down for something. But if you can catch it and recognize where it is, then you need to immediately go to a weather satellite. Because let me show you what I found. So look at this picture, all the clouds, and then look out the front window. You see all those clouds. And then take a good look at the position on the left. It's just to the east of those little islands on the south end of Japan. And then we go to a live weather satellite, look at the exact same position, and what do we see? Wow, there's no clouds. I zoomed in a little bit more, and I actually marked the spot where they said it was. And you'll see that there is no cloud cover according to the official satellite map of the weather, but there are cloud cover there. There is cloud cover, and it's completely socked in according to the official live ISS feed. So that's just one other way to show that when they're telling you they're giving you live footage, they're not. And those are my 2 points about the station. If someone says they see it, well, you saw how small it would look on a football field. And when they say they have a live feed to prove it's real, you can prove it's not by looking at the live feed from other satellites. So, well, if they're satellites, helium balloons, whatever they are. Anyway, I'm signing off. This is Luke, Flat Earth Consequences. Have a great day. Share this with somebody.